Hey, this is Zohair with Team WUNAX. Over the past few days, I've been trying out some of the new firewall-related cards coming out in CyberStorm Access. These cards do a lot for Cybers-related strategies, and today I wanted to do a showcase on what they do and how they mesh with the Code Talker deck. Code Talker as a deck is heavily reliant around Cynet Codec. This card searches nearly any Cybers monster and allows the deck to continue building its board. One issue that this deck has is that it's quite susceptible to cards like Dark Ruler and Droplet, because even though the deck plays Cynet Conflict to beat mass negates like those cards, the only way you can search it is if you already open Cynet Codec in your opening hand, because the deck only has one searcher for Cynet spell and trap cards, being Microcoder. But the new cards that we get from this set fix that problem. The first thing that we have is Firewall Defensor. This is a level 4 monster that when sent to grave as link material for a Cybers monster can special summon a Firewall monster from the deck, and the monster that this is going to summon is another new card, Firewall Phantom. Phantom, when sent to grave as link material for a Cybers, can add a Cynet spell trap from deck to hand as well. This gives the deck 2 Cynet spell trap searchers, so that you can more consistently end on Codec and Cynet Conflict on the end board. Aside from that, we have CYBERSE Sage. This card's a new ritual monster out of the new set, and what it does is it's a miracle fusion for Cybers monsters. It will make CYBERSE Deceiborn, which can special summon a Cybers monster from your hand, but also is an additional spell trap negate that you can banish from grave to activate. Other than that, for the new firewall-related extra deck monsters, we have Protect Code Talker, which not only protects your big links from targeting in battle, but also has the ability to revive itself from grave if a firewall monster is on the field. This is important because it can ensure that you have a Code Talker on the board to be able to activate and resolve Cynet Conflict through a card like Nibiru. Finally, we have the cover card of the set, Firewall Dragon Singularity. This is a Link 6 that can potentially bounce up to 3 cards that the opponent controls per turn. It also has the ability to revive a Cybers monster in the grave if a monster it points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the grave. You can use this proactively for extra damage on your turn or extra link material, or defensively for extra blockers on the opponent's turn, if your opponent is clearing your board. With these new cards, the deck doesn't necessarily have to extra link anymore. Rather, you can end on a board of multiple staggered interruptions that doesn't worry as much about Dark Ruler and has ways to play through Nibiru, while also having more room in the main engine more room in the main deck for non-engine cards. I'll go over how Firewall Defensor is a 1-card combo for both extra linking and ending on more conventional disjointed interruptions, and an example how the non-extra link version of the combo can play through Nibiru with just extra engine cards. So yeah, let's get into the combos.
For the first 1-card combo, this is going to be an extra link with Ibli off of just Firewall Defender. So we can summon Defender, link into Balinx, Defender will summon Phantom and Balinx will get Sanctuary. Then we'll link Phantom and Balinx into Splash Mage. Phantom will discard a card to get a Cynet Codec. We don't discard the Sanctuary so that we can protect the Ibli we summon to the opponent's field later on and stop it from crashing. That's why we need just any random discard here. So we'll activate the Codec, Splash Mage to summon back Phantom, link 2 into Transcode Talker. Codec will then trigger to get us a code generator. Then we can transcode back Splash Mage, Generator, and Splash Mage will link into Protect Code Talker. Then codec will get us a dark CYBERSE monster, and generator will get us Dotscaper, so we'll grab Ibli, and then we'll summon Dotscaper from the graveyard, and we'll turn transcode and Dotscaper into inverted. Inverted will special the Ibli from our hand, and codec will search us a light CYBERSE monster, so we'll get circular. Then at this point we can link into Xcode Talker, which gets us parallel Exceed, and Ibli will go to the opponent's field. Then from here we can special summon Circular, sending Sigma, summon Sigma back, and then Circular will get us Addition. Or sorry, it will get us Equation. Equation's important because we need a spell card in the graveyard to be able to activate the effect of CYBERSE Switch. So here we make CYBERSE Switch using Circular, because if we use Sigma, then Sigma would be banished and we wouldn't be able to activate Equation. So we activate Equation here, summoning Circular from grave, then Witch will trigger banishing Equation to get us the 2 ritual cards that we want. Then from here we can turn Circular and Xcode into Firewall Dragon. Here we can summon Exceed, and then Exceed can special summon another one from the deck. Then we'll activate Firewall Dragon to add any CYBERSE monster with a level from our grave to our hand. Honestly, it can be any monster, it's just the ritual requirement for CYBERSE Sage. Next we can link 6 into Singularity. Then we can activate Signet Ritual, summoning CYBERSE Sage. Sage will then special summon Disabworm from the extra deck. Then we can link Witch and Disabworm into Crystal Heart. Then Singularity will trigger because the monster it pointed to was sent to the graveyard. It'll summon Firewall Dragon back from the grave. Then Crystal Heart can summon Transcode back. Then we can turn CYBERSE Sage into a Balinx to finish the U-Link. Then from there we can summon Protect Code Talker back from grave, banishing Xcode Talker, because we control a firewall monster. And so here, all of our co-linked monsters cannot be targeted, all our monsters gain 500 attack. Singularity is a quick effect bounce for 2 cards on the opponent's field. Firewall Dragon is a quick effect bounce for 3 cards in the opponent's field or grave. Sanctuary will prevent Ibli from attacking into your board and removing itself from the field, and CYBERSE Disabworm can prevent your opponent from activating a spell or trap card. Let's move on to the second 1-card combo. This is the line I prefer to go for with the deck now that we have the new cards, because it plays... This sort of line plays better into Nibiru. I'm just going to show the 1-card combo first, and then show the 2-card combo afterward, and how that line plays through Nibiru. So it starts the same way. We go Defensor into Balinx, then we can go into Phantom, and here we can discard the Sanctuary because we're not going for Ibli. We don't need to protect our opponent's monsters. So we can get the codec, Splash Mage back, make transcode, get code generator. And it's the same line up to the point where we get to protect code. Here we're going to send Dotscaper and we're going to add microcoder from our deck to our hand so that we can get the counter trap. So we'll link into inverted, and codec and inverted will trigger. We'll summon coder and search Mathmex Circular. Then we can summon Circular, sending Sigma, special summon Sigma, triggering Circular to get a super factorial. Then we can overlay for Alimbertion. Alimbertion will get us Diameter. And then Alimbertion will be able to summon Diameter from our hand. And so that's the full setup for super factorial. Then we can link into CYBERSE Witch. Then we can make heat soul, triggering cyber switch, and Cynet codec, and microcoder. So here we get conflict, we get sage and ritual, and we get mathmech addition. Here we can ritual for sage, and we can also just use the addition as the ritual requirement. We don't use it in this combo line. Sage will miracle fusion into Disabworm. Then we turn Sage and Witch into Xcode. Xcode will get us Parallel Exceed. Then Disabworm can special summon Exceed from our hand. And Exceed can summon another Exceed from deck. And then we can link both Exceeds, Xcode Talker, and Disabworm into Firewall Dragon Singularity. And then Heat Soul will end up drawing us 2 cards. So with this board, we have Heat Soul for 2 cards, Singularity to bounce up to 3 cards per turn, as well as Cynet Conflict as a Omni Negation, and Super Factorial for Laplacian, which takes 3 cards from the opponent and is also an Omni Negation because of Mathmech Diameter Engrave. Let's move on to the 2-card line that plays through Nibiru. Here I'm going to start with Firewall Defensor and Parallel Exceed. So we can normal Defensor, summon Phantom, get Sanctuary, then turn Defensor Phantom into Witch. Phantom will discard Sanctuary and will special summon Parallel Exceed to the zone Witch points to. Grabbing Cynet Codec, then Witch will get us the ritual cards, banishing Sanctuary, and Parallel Exceed will summon another 4. And now here our opponent's forced to either Nibiru us or allow us to search the Mathmech cards and get to Super Factorial. So here we can make Alimbertion. Grabbing Circular, we summon Circular, sending Sigma. Then Alimbertion tribute itself to summon Sigma back. Circular will get us Super Factorial. Next we link into Heat Soul to get Mathmech Addition. Heat Soul will draw us 1 random card. Then we can special summon Addition. And now in this case, if any of the 4 other cards in your hand is a CYBERSE monster that can be special summoned, then we can also get Mathmech Diameter to the graveyard to give our Super Factorial a negation effect as well. And I'll show that right here. You just turn the 2 monsters you have into inverted, and go inverted Chainlink 1, Codec Chainlink 2, to search Diameter, and then immediately special summon it. This is illegal if you do not have a CYBERSE monster in your hand to special summon. And in that case, you just don't summon the Diameter, you just turn Circular and Addition into Code Talker, and continue from there. You make Code Talker, Codec will get Microcoder, then you can link Code Talker and Microcoder and protect Code Talker, and Microcoder will get you Cynet Conflict. And so now we can set the Super Factorial, set the Cynet Conflict. We have 4 unknowns in our hand that our opponent doesn't know about, and we can just pass right here with the 2 trap cards and Heat Soul drawing 2. If our opponent Nibiru's us here, then we can activate the ritual cards. So we can ritual summon CYBERSE Sage. Sage will Miracle Fusion for Disabworm. And then in the case that we did set up Diameter Engrave, then we can summon Sigma back, because it'll let us get to Heat Soul eventually on the end board. Otherwise, if we did not put Diameter in the graveyard, then we don't do this. But we'll make Link Spider, and then turn Sage, Link Spider into Splash Mage. Then Splash Mage bring anything back. And then Splash Mage will get to Transcode. Transcode will revive Heat Soul from grave. And then Disabworm will special summon the CYBERSE monster that we had in hand. That made special summoning Diameter legal. And in that case, we can then link Sigma, that should be banished, the monster we summoned from hand, Disabworm, and Transcode for Firewall Dragon Singularity. Otherwise, if we did not set up the Diameter, you just don't revive the Sigma, so you can keep 3 Mathmechs in the graveyard. You turn Splash Mage and Link Spider into... you turn Sage and Link Spider into Splash Mage bring back a body, then you make Transcode, and here you just go Transcode to revive Splash Mage. And now you can link for 6 to summon Firewall Dragon Singularity, and then you can activate the effect of Protect Code Talker in graveyard, banishing 3 link materials from grave to summon itself back from the graveyard, and that gives you your Code Talker on the field to activate Signet Conflict. In either case, you can then activate Singularity to bounce the Nibiru that your opponent had on field, so that they can't just attack over Protect Code Talker to force conflict. But yeah, let's go over the line where they do stop you from getting to super factorial. I'm just skipping some steps here to get to that point in the end board. Alright, so if they Nibiru'd you at this point in the combo, then what you can do is Ritual Summon Sage. Sage can then Miracle Fusion into Disabworm. Then you can make Link Spider, Sage into Splash Mage Defensor back. Then you can link into Code Talker. Code Talker will allow Codec to get us Microcoder. Then we can turn Microcoder, Code Talker into Transcode. Microcoder will get us Conflict, and Transcode will get us Generator. Then we can turn Splash Mage Generator into Heat Soul. Codec will get us Mathmech Addition, and Generator will send Dotscaper to the graveyard. Then we can Dotscaper itself back, Transcode Talker to revive Splash Mage from the graveyard. And then we can turn Splash Mage, Transcode, and Dotscaper into Singularity. And now we can set the conflict. Heat Soul gets us 2 cards. Singularity can bounce the Nibiru. And we have Disabworm in the graveyard to negate a spell or trap the opponent activates. But yeah, those are the combos I wanted to show off. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments on this, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks.